Hello and welcome to What It Feels Like. This is a visual novel about the character that you see here, who apparently wants to make it big with his music. And around the same time, he's been chasing after somebody who doesn't appear to be all that interested in him. And yeah, that's where we're pretty much going to start with. So, that's more or less what I know about the visual novel, and it has already been going on. I think it has 7 chapters so far at the time of recording. How long it's going to be, I don't know. Anyway, so, I guess without further ado, let us begin What It Feels Like. The road ahead of me stretches out into the dark horizon, the sky above me illuminated only by the moon and the gray clouds surrounding it. The street is empty, barren and cold, the chirps of crickets and buzz of the streetlights being the only sound accompanying me. It's all too familiar by now. I don't know how many nights I've walked through the sidewalk. I might even start remembering the cracks of the pavement at this point. I chuckle inwardly. I might know this neighborhood better than he does. The walk to his apartment feels quick, the way it always does these days. I don't think of anything, I don't feel anything when I'm walking to it. I just know that I need to get there, and that's it, nothing else. A man smoking a cigarette sits on the set of stairs that go up to where I'm headed, and when he notices me, he gives me a sort of puzzled look. I don't blame him. At this time of the night, who the hell would be having visitors? It's not the first time that I've seen him though. He usually hangs around at this hour, normally somewhere less in the way, so this is the first time that we've ever really run into each other. I give him a curt nod and just continue my ascent up the stairs. He's not what I came for. I don't care for this man. He watches me go up without a word and eventually just keeps on smoking and looking out at nothing in particular. I guess I don't look like much of a threat. That's a good thing I note. The apartment before me reads 7, a number that I've seen pretty much every night for the past 2 months or so. It's not a special number, but to me it holds a promise of bliss behind it. I give the door one single soft knock, knowing that he'll hear it and come open it up in no time. He's expecting me after all. And just like clockwork, 10 seconds go by when he's at the door, opening it halfway to look at me, his hand still firmly on the doorknob. It's a bit dark to see him completely, but it's not hard to know that he's there. His tall, slim frame makes a shadow in his already dark apartment, which seems so inviting. "Did anyone see you?" His voice comes out low and husky, like it usually does, and he utters the same 4 words he always does when he greets me. Did anyone see you? Because this is very important to him. If anyone saw me leave my house, if anyone saw me make my way towards his apartment. I wonder if it ever crosses his mind that no one cares about what I'm doing in the middle of the night. No one, apparently, except him. No. I answer him almost immediately, and although the man outside comes to mind, I highly doubt that he'll be telling anyone at our college that I came to his house. Jacob nods, stepping sideways to let me in, and he turns around and makes his way inside his apartment. The smell of beer and dirty laundry fills my nose instantly, and although that might not sound very appealing to me, it's exactly what I need. Every light is off, and it's hard to really make out where everything is, but I'm familiarized enough with the layout that I don't bump into anything as I sit down on his small brown couch. He's in the kitchen, washing his hands, getting yet another beer from the fridge before finally joining me on the couch. He throws himself on it with a huff, keeping about a foot or 2 of distance between us, his left arm spread out onto the headrest behind me, but not actually touching me. He looks at me for a long moment, his bright yellow eyes reflecting the light coming from his window. How was your day? Fine. Not bad. Yours? Meh. He just shrugs and takes a swig of his beer. What happened? Nothing in particular, just a coach getting on my ass. Right. He looks forward into his apartment, staring at nothing, no doubt thinking about something that I can never quite discern. Jacob has and always will be an enigma to me. Whatever he thinks is something foreign and indecipherable. I've learned to accept this by now. How's the band? This is new. He usually never asks about the band. Oh, it's alright. We're still looking for a guitarist. He chuckles dryly, bringing the bottle back to his lips. Yeah, well, good luck. He doesn't mean that. I'm sure what I just told him makes him happy, even. Yeah, thanks. How's your... He interrupts me before I get the chance to finish my sentence by firmly planting his muzzle against mine, kissing me unexpectedly, and pulling me close to him. Although I am not a fan of when he does this, I think it's a little rude. I let him kiss me anyway, wrapping my arms around him in reciprocation. His tongue slips into my mouth, and the taste of beer and mustard, maybe, envelops my own tongue, but I accept it with open arms. His voice comes out periodically, gruffing, growling softly into the kiss as his hand grips the fur on the back of my head, deepening our kiss. We didn't get to talk much today, I think to myself with some disappointment. When he starts kissing me like this, I know that it'll lead to something more, and there's no stopping either of us when he gets like that. It would have been nice to have a normal moment with him. I wish that it didn't feel like that sometimes. I wish our intimacy didn't feel like a haze, like a blur that comes and goes all too quickly. I can feel him touching me, the way his hands run up my body, neatly undressing me, his fingers tracing along my hips. The rumble of his chest when I reciprocate the gesture, the way his heart jumps against his shirt, the look he gives me that tells me to keep going. I can feel it, every sensation, every lick and bite and moan. I especially feel it when his fingers go inside me, stretching me out, preparing me for the main event. What he so desperately wants and what I so eagerly give. The piercing heat that courses through the inside of my body when he... and the urging, insatiable strength of his thrusts, messing me up completely. I feel it all, but I am not here. Not really anyway. In my mind, we aren't having in the middle of Tuesday night, and we're not some secret that no one can know about. In my mind, we're far away from this town, touring cities, writing music together, and in the heat of passion, we... Then, and only then, do we... When emotions are high, and we can't bear to be apart another second, that's when we have... Because in my mind, I am not having with Jacob's song. I'm making love with Jacob's song. So, although I feel when his thrusts get faster, and I feel the way his strong legs tremble when he, inside of me, hearing his moan echo through his small apartment. For me, it's an act of passion and not lust. Eventually, he collapses to my side, catching his breath. When he sighs, that's how I know that I did well. He's satisfied. I satisfied him. I did a good job. His arms hug onto my waist and pull me close to him, my back pressed against his chest, his breathing hitting the top of my head, and I latch onto his arm, hugging it so tightly. Here it is, the moment that I've been waiting for, the aftercare. When he's content and tuckered out from me, is when he shows affection, when he pulls me into his body and plants small kisses onto my face. This is when the night stops being a blur and all my senses are heightened to infinity. I have to remember exactly how this feels, how his fur feels against mine, how his pillow smells like old cologne, and something else, something distinctly him. I have to, because otherwise, what else do I have to latch onto? Anyone can have, with you, and make it enjoyable, but not everyone will hold you like this when it's over. No, this is what makes Jacob special. He shows me what love feels like. This is what love feels like. I close my eyes and just feel him, all of him, and I let myself get lost in this feeling for a bit. In this moment, Jacob loves me, and I am the only one he's holding, and I'm the one who makes him feel good. I'm exhausted. Even though the is nice, it takes a lot out of me. I'm not nearly as horny as Jacob is, but I'll happily give myself to him if I can rest in his arms like this afterwards. Hey, I think you should get going. But I don't get that. Every night without fail, Jacob tells me that it's time for me to leave about 30 minutes after having with me. No matter how tired I am, if I am pretending to be asleep, if I'm actually asleep, he will shake me awake and tell me that I need to go. Today, it seems like my time was cut even shorter than that. Really? Already? I try my best to sound tired instead of desperate, as if I'm asking not because I want to stay with him, but because I'm just sleepy and don't want to get up. Even though, if I'm honest, both are true. Yeah, I gotta get up early tomorrow. I'm sorry. It takes me a minute to finally gather the strength to get up, then another to wash up in his very messy bathroom, and then another to get fully dressed. It takes me so much time to get here, and so little to leave. When I get out of the bathroom, he's already fluffing up his pillow, laying on his side and holding another very flat pillow in between his arms. I hate seeing that. I hate feeling jealous of a fucking pillow. Well, I'll be going then. He quietly gets up and leads me towards the door, opening it for me to the brightly lit view of the neighborhood. It's really cold tonight. Not that he cares. Good night, Jacob. He leans against the doorframe and nods, half asleep. Good night, Mylo. And without another word, I exit his apartment, Jacob softly closing the door behind me and locking it before I hear him return to his room. I always stand in front of his apartment after he closes the door for about a minute or so. I couldn't really say why it is that I do this. I don't think of anything, and I don't expect him to come back out and let me in. No, I just stand there looking at the 7 on his door and wishing that I was standing on the other side of it. I make my way down the stairs and see that the man is still there, though his cigarette is all but gone by now. He notices me walking down and doesn't exactly make an effort to even pretend to not stare, and I feel my cheeks get hot. Usually I am alone for this walk of shame. Tonight, however, it seems like I have an audience. I wordlessly slip past him, not daring to look at his general direction, and once I'm down the stairs, I hear his raspy voice speak to me. Good night. I turn around, meeting his eyes, speechless. I think maybe he knows what we did. Could he hear us through the walls? Does he think that I'm some hooker? I don't really care. I'm too tired for this. Good night. He nods at me and returns his gaze to nothing at all. I tug my jacket a bit tighter against my body and quietly make my way back to where I came from. The moon seems a bit lower than when I came. It's cut in half, lit brightly on one side and completely dark in the other. I love the moon. I love the night sky. It means I'm about to see Jacob. But on the walk back home, looking up at the moon brings me little comfort. I have seen Jacob. The night is over, and yet there it is, still shining as if trying to give me hope. And it always seems to succeed in doing so, because I always come back to him. It gives me something to look forward to, and right now, all I'm looking forward to is tomorrow night, when I will see him again. The loud, incessant buzzing of my phone jolts me awake, my eyes trying hard to open despite how heavy my eyelids feel. I never seem to feel rested these days, not that it's a surprise to me, but I do miss sleeping more. I grab my phone, pushing the accept call button and pressing it onto my ear, slurring a half-hearted, "What?" into the other line. What? Get your ass down here, now! I sit up on my bed quickly, rubbing the sleep from my eyes as I hear my best friend's voice annoyingly mocking my own come from the phone. Shit. That was today? Mylo, you have 5 minutes to come down or we're leaving without you, and I am not kidding. Okay, I'll be there. Don't leave without me. Hurry up then. She hangs up and the imaginary timer of 5 minutes starts counting down over my head as I rush to get ready, putting on whatever I can find that smells clean and brushing my teeth as quickly as I can. Running downstairs, I hear my mom call out to me from inside the kitchen. Mylo, are you heading out? Your friends were beeping outside a while ago. Ugh, don't say that. Now I feel even worse. Yeah, Mom. I'm going. I'll be back later tonight. Try and get home earlier if you can't. I'm gonna make dinner for us tonight. Sure, Mom. I'm really gotta go now. Text me. Bye. I burst out the door and close it behind me, and as I run down the porch, sure enough, there they are, as pissed as I imagined they'd be. You're late. I haven't even finished walking up to them when she loudly announces that to me, and I put my hands on my knees to catch my breath. I know. I'm sorry. I manage to apologize between gasps, and she just rolls her eyes with an exasperated sigh. Yeah, get in. We have to be there in time or Arnie isn't going to let us do anything. She climbs onto the passenger seat and crosses her arms, and although I can't see it through the car door, I'm positive she's bouncing her leg in annoyance. Morning. Hey, Wyatt. He gives me a polite nod, then turns to get on the driver's seat. Feeling embarrassed, I just get in the back seat in silence, and once we're all inside, Wyatt turns the car on and we drive away into the street. The streets of Ashland seem about the same as they always do. To any outsider, maybe this town is really pretty, close to the beach, which is already a plus for more than half the states in this country. But to me, it's the same thing that I've seen my whole life. The same shopping district, same libraries and restaurants, even the beaches themselves never change. I don't particularly dislike it here, but I'd rather be somewhere else. I hate monotony. The smell of food snaps me out of a bit of my trance, and I notice that on the same seat next to me is a brown paper bag with a familiar logo on it. You guys went to McDonald's? Yep. Is this for me? I'm still thinking whether or not you deserve it. I can hear a smile in her voice, so I know that she's not pissed anymore, but I try to butter her up anyway. Please, I promise that it won't happen again. You have my full permission to hit me in the head with the bat if I sleep in again. I guess that does sound pretty fun. Alright, fine. Go ahead and eat your McMuffin. You McBitch. Much obliged. I happily take out the breakfast burger from the bag and give it a big bite. Ah, fast food. One of the many wonders of the modern era. Why do we have to be there so early anyway? Arnie doesn't open up until the afternoon. He said that we can hang up the posters in the morning. Something about not wanting customers seeing us do it. Ugh, so dumb. It's not that early. I mean, 8 a.m. is pretty reasonable. Is it? I'm with Mylo. My first class isn't until 11. I could have been asleep right now. Thank you, Wyatt. He smiles at me through the rearview mirror. It's pretty rare when he's on my side and not Lizzie's, so when it happens, it always feels like we have a moment, trademark pending. Well, we're all awake now, so both of you can stop whining. Besides, we had breakfast, right? It's not all bad. Can't say that I don't agree. There's something about having breakfast outside that just lifts up my mood. A McBreakfast solves everything then, Sure does. I'll take your word for it. They smile at each other, and just like that, our moment is gone, taken over by the irresistible pull of Lizzie's aura or something. Wyatt and Lizzie have been dating for about a year now. Lizzie and I were friends way before they even met, so I always feel closer to her than him. But lately, it doesn't feel like that's been the case anymore, ever since they started going out. It's felt less like I was the best friend and more like I was just tagging along with them. Not that I mind too much. They're always nice to me, and it kind of feels like they're my mom and dad sometimes when we go out together. I don't dislike Wyatt, not by a long shot. He's a great guy and God knows he treats Lizzie like a goddess. But I guess I just miss the intimacy Lizzie and I used to have. They're talking amongst themselves now about their plans for the day or what movie that they're going to watch together. So in moments like these where they can only see each other, I just take myself out of the conversation and let them have their moment. After all, no one likes a third wheel. Instead, I keep to my own thoughts about us, the band, and what we're going to do about it. The Dead End Lovers, the cringy name Lizzie and I thought of in junior year, is the official name of our band. It took some time for us to get it fully formed, but once we met Wyatt and Jacob, it all sort of fell into place and we started performing in old Arnie's bar out first year of college. Everything was great for a while, and I would write our songs along with Wyatt, and we'd compose them together and perform pretty much every Friday night. That went on for a while until Jacob left the band. That was almost 4 months ago, and ever since then, we haven't been able to find a guitarist. It was manageable at first. I would play the piano, the only instrument that I can play, to sort of replace the guitar, but we quickly found out that it wasn't working. Arnie told us himself something about me lacking stage presence when I performed with a piano in front of me. So we haven't gotten a gig in a whole month, and obviously now we're desperate. Well, at least I am. As we roll up to Arnie's bar, I'm fully awake with a newfound determination. This is our Hail Mary. If we don't find a guitarist soon, Arnie will give our spot to some other band, and when that happens, it'll be tough to get back out there. I do not want to start all over again. I hate starting things over again. So tonight we'll be holding auditions for a new guitarist here in the bar, again, for the 4th time. If we can't find one tonight, then I don't know what I'll do. We pile out of Wyatt's car and Lizzie hands me the stack of flyers that we made a few nights ago. Are you sure that you don't want us to go in with you? We could help sweet talk him into letting us put more flyers. Mylo could offer his services. Yeah, I could. Wait. I'm not giving old Arnie up. Why not? I don't know where he's been. Besides, he's too old for me. I thought you liked old guys. I told you I liked one old guy, and he's an actor, so he doesn't count. Mylo isn't sucking anyone's dick. I can sweet talk the old guy myself. Are you gonna suck his dick? I don't know why I defended you. He shakes his head and without another word, goes into the bar. God, I really hope someone shows up today. Me too. Someone good, preferably. I can't handle another audition of a guy who thinks that he can play guitar. How have things been, by the way, with you? Oh, good, I guess. Yeah, feels like we don't talk much these days. I've noticed too, of course. With the band being in hiatus and her and Wyatt moving in together, it's been a messy couple of months. Yeah, it does. We should hang out sometime, a non-band related outing, us 3. I get a little disappointed at the 3 part. I wonder if she ever considers hanging out just the 2 of us anymore. But I smile anyway, nodding. Yeah, we should definitely do that. Just say the word and I'll organize something for us. Ooh. Maybe you can invite us to your place? I miss your mom's cooking so much. I'm sure that she'd be happy to see you. A little too happy, maybe. Mom adores Lizzie to the point where she kinda ends up comparing me to her. Not unlike she would with Emma. Sometimes I feel like I can never compare to my older sister. We could go to the movies. Oh, or the shopping district. I heard that they're gonna open up a new music shop there soon. I thought you said nothing band related. Well, it doesn't have to be band related. We both like music, right? True. I'll get you a triangle, really boost up your musical talent. How sweet. I'll get you a recorder, shove it up your ass. How crude. You'd like it, I bet. The sound of the bar door opening stops our little banter battle, and out comes Wyatt with, thankfully, not a single flyer in his hand. So? We sigh in relief. Sometimes Arnie can be such a hard ass. Thankfully, this wasn't one of those times. Looks like we were all set then. Thank God. You better show up on time, Mylo. I will, jeez. That's that then. Let's get to class. Yeah, at least we can show up on time for that. A little too on time for my liking. He gives out a loud yawn. I swear, I always feel like he has a bass system in his stomach, the way I can feel it when his body rumbles like that. Let's get going then. Wyatt and I give a half-hearted sleepy hooray school while Lizzie pushes us into the car. I lay down on his backseat. The smell of McDonald's hash browns and Wyatt's car stinks, pressing into my nose. Being awake is so hard. I hate mornings. I hate afternoons too. I wish that it was nighttime already. College for me is like that one Bon Jovi song. Always living on a prayer. It's not that I'm dumb, or at least I'd like to think that it's not because of that. Mom says that if I really tried I could be just as overachieving as Emma is, but of course I don't try. College is just a stepping stone for me, something that I have to do or else Dad would kick me out of the house otherwise. As long as I get okay grades and don't fail a class, I'll keep on being their mediocre child. If anything, I do love keeping the status quo. So in morning classes like these, where I'm tired and bored, I just put my head down and escape to my own little daydream. I love to daydream. It's like hallucinating, but you can control what happens. What's better than that? Don't answer that. Ah yes, my daily voluntary hallucination. Jacob. You'd think that I daydream of dirty things. Jacob shirtless, his pecs, his pits, and like, you'd be right, but that's only a quarter of the time. No, in my wildest fantasies, Jacob isn't naked. I see that almost every night after all. He's just there, next to me, holding my hand, making a stupid joke that I'll no doubt laugh to. Telling me how happy he is, how much he loves me. In my wildest dreams, Jacob's song is mine, just as much as I am his. What would a date with him look like? I think for the millionth time. Would he take me to a festival, like we did in freshman year, just the two of us this time? Would he ever kiss me in public? I mean, it's definitely a nice thought, but the chances of that happening seem so slim. After all, he's... The sound of books loudly slamming shut and chairs moving wakes me up with a jolt, and I quickly gather my things and get up. Looks like I spaced out for the whole class. Again. I should stop doing that. I start to make my way towards the door when I hear our professor clear his throat loudly. Mr. Russo, could you please stay for a second? Oh God. I actually have a class right now. Yeah, I don't care. Stay. I'll talk to whoever you have next class with. He singles out another guy trying to quickly leave, snapping his fingers at him to get his attention. Hey, you too, Mr. Abernathy. The guy audibly curses under his breath and apprehensively makes his way towards the desk. Mr. Hopkins sighs and rubs the bridge of his nose with his fingers, and once we're the only ones in the room, he finally looks up at us in mild disappointment. So you two are... Hopkins? A teacher that I don't recognize stands in the doorway, frantically motioning him to step out into the hallway. I'll be right there. Please, it's an emergency. The lady urges him on, and with another heavy sigh that lasts a bit too long, he gets up from the desk. You two stay here. This won't take long. And off he goes to handle whatever situation that lady is in, leaving me and this guy alone in the classroom. I glance at him through the corner of my eye and quickly realize that this stranger isn't a stranger after all. Not really anyway. I've seen him a lot in classes and on the basketball team. From what I can tell, he seems kind of like a douche. He's taller than me, but not by much, and he always seems to have a grin permanently etched into his face. Well, maybe except for now. He notices me looking at him, and as if reading my mind, his grin comes back, wide and proud. A cocky, full of himself cheetah who always seems to have people around him. Yeah, that's Abernathy. Baxter Abernathy. What a hard ass, huh? He talks, the once rigid posture that he had when Mr. Hopkins called for him disappearing in an instant, replacing it with this cool guy persona that he always seems to put on. Yeah, I guess so. What are you in for? I shove my hands into my back pockets and glance away. I don't want to be rude, but I'm pretty terrible at small talk, which is kind of why I only really have the band members as my friends. And why not to admit it, Baxter makes me a little nervous. He's standing just a bit too close, being a bit too friendly, and I don't think that I trust him yet. But it looks like I'm stuck with him, at least for the time being, and awkward silence is way worse than awkward banter. So I choose the latter. Not sure. Could be anything, really. I owe him a lot of homework. Huh, yeah, me too. He rubs the back of his neck, definitely not proud of this. Do you think that he's gonna tell us that we're gonna fail his class? I shudder. God, I sure hope not. My dad would kill me. Same. Except my mom will, not dad. Is your dad not strict? He looks at me for a moment, almost in amusement. Nah, I just don't really have a dad. Oh. Geez, way to go, Mylo. You just made this jock trauma dump in 5 seconds flat. That's gotta be a new record. Yep, woe is me. Fatherless behavior too, boo-hoo, etc, etc. Nah, I'm just playing with you. It's not a big deal. I'm more worried about what the hell I'm gonna do about this class. I inwardly sigh in relief when he changes the subject. He must be good at conversation. I wouldn't have known what to say if I were in his shoes. Well, there's still time. I guess. He just shrugs casually, that smile of his never leaving his face. For such a worried guy, he sure seems carefree. I'm Baxter, by the way. He extends his left hand for me to take in a very friendly way. He isn't what I expected him to be. He actually seems pretty nice despite looking like a douchey frat boy. I know, wait, you know? Have we met before? No, but we have a couple of classes together and I see you on the team sometimes. Yeah, so that's where I know you from. He snaps his fingers loudly and points at me in a finger gun kind of way. You're the guy who's always sitting on the bleachers during practice. I take an embarrassed step back, feeling my cheeks get hot. You notice? Oh yeah, I always see you there, hanging around, staring. He grins wider and leans close to me, speaking a bit lower now, a cockiness to him that I am not too sure that I like. And judging by your reaction, I'd say that there's a guy you're spying on. Who is it? Is it Tom? What? No, I'm not. Cooper? Leo? Kurt? Oreo? You made that last guy up, didn't you? Oh, I know exactly who it is. It's Jacob, isn't it? Are you two quite done? The sound of Mr. Hopkins entering the room again makes us both jump back to our original position, Baxter's cockiness fizzling into thin air. He sits back down on his desk, in front of us, taking off his glasses to look up at us, the look of disapproval still evident in his face. So, you two, I'm sure you have an idea why I called you boys here. I glance at Baxter, and he side-eyes me back. Yeah, I think we know why. Would you two like to explain what's going on with your assignments? He turns to me first, expectantly, waiting a response. My palms start to get sweaty and the nervousness that I was feeling when he called my name the first time comes back to me tenfold. Well, Mr. Hopkins, there's a reasonable explanation for this. Which is... Listen, Mr. Russo, I'm well aware that you have your own little projects going. You think that I haven't noticed you writing songs in my class? For that little band of yours? You always seem full of energy at night when you're playing in that bar. He's been at the bar? He's seen us play? So if you tell me that you've been busy, I won't believe you. I'd rather you just tell me outright that you haven't cared enough to do your assignments. It's not that I don't care, Mr. Hopkins. I've just been busy with other things. Oh, I'm sure. He turns away from me and points at Baxter now. And you, Abernathy? Well, you know I've got basketball practice, and I have to do student work here, since I've got the partial scholarship and all. I've just got a lot going on, sir. I promise that I'll get everything done, though. Suave. Did he think of all those excuses just now? So you haven't done your assignments because you play basketball and work in the library 3 times a week? Yes? Hopkins lets out yet another drawn-out sigh. Look, I'll be perfectly honest with you two. If things keep up like this, you're failing this class. I don't know what personal things you guys have going on, but I don't think either of you can afford to fail my class, especially you, Abernathy. So, I'm giving you guys an option. He sits back down on his chair, staring at us, and I half expect him to spin around and start evil monologuing, but no, he just goes on. I'm sure you two know of the business fair that we host every year, and I sure hope that you know that it's a month from now. Usually I'd have a representative from my class, but I haven't had the time to pick and choose lately. So lucky me, I've got my representatives standing right in front of me. Baxter and I give each other a look of horror, and when we turn back to look at Mr. Hopkins, he's only smiling wider. This is, of course, not negotiable. If you two want to pass this class, that is. Mr. Hopkins, I mean, come on. You're two worst students representing you in the business fair. We don't know shit. No offense, Baxter. Oh no, none taken. I definitely don't know shit. Then you better start studying now. If you embarrass me at the fair, I'll fail you either way. But we'll do it. Huh? Baxter places a reassuring hand on my shoulder, nodding at Mr. Hopkins with a look of fierce determination. Good. I'll be keeping a close eye on you, the two of you. Students start to pile into the classroom and Mr. Hopkins waves at us dismissively. Go. Get out. Don't be late for your other classes. Baxter nods and leads me by the shoulder. We both make our way out of the classroom and into the hallway. We stand out there for a second, a little dumbfounded at our new grand task. Then finally Baxter lets out a weird noise that might be a sigh or a cry of pain. Well, fuck. Ugh, some mess that we got ourselves into. Yeah, it's our own fault though. What are we gonna do? I bury my face into my hands. Not that this is a worst case scenario, but it's a pretty bad situation either way. Hey, it could be worse. He could have made us write a 50-page essay or something. I think I would have preferred that over a presentation. Oh, come on, it'll be fun. I glare at him through my fingers. Okay, maybe not fun, but it's definitely doable. It's not that bad, if you really think about it. I guess. Yeah, don't worry about it. He rummages around his pocket for a second and whips out his phone, unlocking it and handing it to me. Here. You're giving me your phone? He grins. Yes, Russo. I'm giving you my phone. I'm obviously asking for your number. Oh, right. Embarrassed, I quickly start to type my phone number onto his phone. Man, I really do have to start getting more sleep soon. My brain's starting to get kind of foggy. Here. He takes it out, but when he checks the name, his smile morphs into a look of confusion. Mylo? Yeah, that's my name. You don't really look like a Mylo. What's that supposed to mean? Mylo just sounds kind of nerdy. You don't give me that vibe. Thank you. I'll just save you as Russo. I watch him as he erases my name on his phone and retypes it as Russo, except he puts like 8 extra S's on it. I'll text you later then. Can't wait. He smiles at me again. I wonder if I'll get used to the way that he looks at me. Hey, off topic, but is what he said true? That you're in a band? Oh, yeah, it is. But we haven't played in a really long time. Yeah? Why's that? Well, we're kind of missing a guitarist, so it's just not the same, I guess. That makes sense. It's pretty cool you write the songs, though. Oh, yeah. Huh. Thanks. I feel my cheeks get hot when he says this. In truth, no one really knows about my songwriting, at least. I don't really talk about it. So whenever someone mentions it, I get pretty self-conscious. It's not like I'm particularly good at it. So what do you... Oh, hey, I gotta go. But I'll talk to you later, okay? He gives me another pat on the shoulder and jogs down the hallway, catching up to a girl that I don't recognize and making conversation with her. I see him go, watching as he turns on that charm of his for her just as quickly as he did for me. I guess that really is just the kind of person he is. And now I'm stuck with him for way longer than I thought that I would be. Oh boy, I wonder if I can handle that. I know that I said that I only see Jacob once a day, but that's not exactly true. As much as I hate to admit it, Baxter's right. I do go to the basketball training whenever I can to watch Jacob play. It's the only instance where I could really look at him without it being too obvious, since Jacob and I don't really talk in public. We're supposed to be a secret. Jacob prefers it this way, and I'm okay with that. If he needs time to sort out his feelings, I can wait. I can be a secret for a bit longer. So, like I said, basketball practice is the only time in school where I have any sort of interaction with him. I sit on the bleachers, write songs, look distracted, whatever, and I get to watch Jacob play. Really, it's a win-win scenario. And I realize that I love watching him play. He always looks so focused, so determined. It's a side of him that I don't see too often. He's either serious, horny, or genuinely happy when he's with me. So seeing different sides of him is always nice. The way the muscles on his arms jump when he grabs the ball, the way his eyes search for someone to pass it to, the way his abs show when he wipes the sweat off of his face with his shirt. They're all things that I love to see, and I'm sure that he knows it. He glances at me now and my heart starts to race. I want him to look at me whenever he scores a basket or whenever he glances at the bleachers. These are special moments for me. It's rare that he turns his attention to me. I offer him a small smile, something that lets him know that I see him, that I see him seeing me. But he doesn't give me anything. He just looks away and the practice game starts up again. I feel the corners of my lips twitch down and I focus on my notebook instead. Well, I guess I shouldn't really be surprised. It wouldn't be the first time my advances would be met with nothing. My phone begins to buzz and checking the caller ID, I see that it's Wyatt. Strange. He never calls me. I answer the phone and turn around from the game, hoping that it'll block out the noise somehow. Hello? Hey, Mylo. How are you? I'm fine. You? Pretty good. This is usually how our one-to-one conversations tend to go. If Liz isn't with us, and if we aren't writing songs together, we don't really know how to interact with each other. Cool. Yeah. Hey, listen. Liz wants to know if you're gonna make it tonight. To the auditions? Of course I am. Why wouldn't I? I don't know. She just told me to call you. Says that you've been busy at night lately. I roll my eyes. Just because I didn't go to her house one time at 10 p.m. and now suddenly I've got a busy schedule. Wyatt, I'll be there. Tell Liz to stop worrying so much. You should tell her yourself. As if she'd listen. Yeah, you know her. Are you at the gym? Shit, just what I needed. Yeah. Why? I was just, Is it Jacob? Nerves start to invade my body, and my mouth dries up quickly. I haven't told anyone that I'm seeing Jacob. Not my mom, not Emma, especially not Liz and Wyatt. They aren't exactly in best terms with Jacob, to put it bluntly. They think he's a piece of shit. I'd be lying if I said that they haven't noticed something's been up with me. It'd be a matter of time before they put two and two together. That time won't be now, though. What? No, it's not Jacob. Oh my god. Can you imagine? I say this casually, as if the very thought of that idea is absurd. So why else would you be there? Well, My eyes lock around the gym, wildly trying to find an excuse, anything that could work as an escape. And then I see him, Baxter, stretching his arms behind his head, sweating profusely. Man, he has hairy armpits. Anyway, I'm, meeting someone here. I have to do a project with him, so... You're meeting in the gym? In the middle of basketball practice? Well, he's on the team, so yeah. Oh yeah? What's his name? I start getting annoyed. Wyatt's tone went from curious to inquisitory in no time at all. Baxter. Abernathy. If you want his full name. Oh, him? Weird. What, you know him? Yeah. He's roommates with a friend of mine. He seems like a nice guy. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind on him yet. Has he been weird with you or something? No, not really, anyway. So, you're with him right now? I see that the team is starting to disband, cooling off and making their way to the lockers. Baxter glances up in my general direction and I stand up a little straighter, hoping he notices me. He does, and when our eyes meet, he grins at me, waving a friendly hello up at me. I smile and wave at him back. Yep, practice just ended. He's right here. Cool, because I kind of want to talk to him. Huh? Yeah, there's something that I want to talk to him about. Think you can put him on the phone for a sec. He's definitely doing this on purpose, to see if I'm not bullshitting him. I let out a few more ums before standing up and making my way down the bleachers to the court. Yeah. Give me a sec. I mute him, triple check that I am actually muted the call, then start jogging towards the lockers hoping Baxter hasn't made it inside yet. Thankfully he hasn't, so I catch up to him fairly quickly. Hey Baxter. I tap him on the back, the wet fabric moistening my hand the instant that I touch it, and I wipe it on my pants quickly. He turns to me and for a second, I'm scared that he'll be mad at me. Jacob made it very clear that he didn't want me talking to him in front of his teammates. I wasn't sure why at first, but maybe they're just the judgmental type. So talking to Baxter right now in front of all his teammates, I have no idea how he'll react. Russo, what's the occasion? He quickly puts a very sweaty arm around me and pulls me close to his chest, grinning at me, much to my surprise. Spying again? If you're not careful, I'm gonna start to think that I'm the one you're spying on. He winks at me, and I feel my cheeks start to get hot again. Well, he's definitely not worried about what his teammates might think, that's for sure. Ugh, no. You're super sweaty. I pry myself off his grasp, much to his amusement, and he watches with a smile as I compose myself. So, what are you doing here? I quickly thrust my phone into his chest and give him my best pleading look. Can you act like I've been with you this whole time? Are you somewhere you're not supposed to be, Russo? Something like that. Can you? He grabs the phone and with a full confidence unmutes it and presses it onto his ear. Hey. Who dis? Oh yeah, Wyatt. What's up, man? Yeah, me and Russo got stuck doing a project together. Tough luck. Another wink. God, he sure likes to do that. How about you, man? What's up? Oh, yeah, I still do. Really? That's pretty cool. I don't know if I... Well, I mean, I'll try. Tonight? Okay, yeah. Thanks, man. I'll see you then. He hands me the phone, mouthing, "For you," and I press it to my ear. It's wet, and I grimace, and this only makes Baxter grin wider. Hello? Hey. Oh, hey. Alright then. That's it, I think. Be there. Or what? Or be a square. Oh boy. Yeah, you don't want that. I'll be there. Good. See you then. He hangs up and I sigh with relief. Looks like he bought it. Is he your brother or something? Huh? No, he's a friend. I just don't want him knowing that I'm here. Spying on men? Please don't call it that. But thank you, I owe you one. Yeah, you sure do. I'm sure that I'll find a way for you to repay me. That sounds super sketchy. Me? Never. Right. Well, you can go wash the stink off of you now. You don't like it? What? Nothing, nothing. See you later, Russo. He walks away into the lockers where the other players are. Where Jacob is. I wonder if they know each other. Baxter doesn't seem like the type to make fun of gay people, considering how firmly flirtatious he is with me, so then... What's Jacob so afraid of? And that's where I'm going to leave it for today. So, first off, I sincerely hope that most of you realize that what Mylo has going on with Jacob is bad. It's bad. He's obsessed with a guy who kind of doesn't care about him, or at the very least doesn't show that he cares about him. I know that there's more to this story, like there's like more chapters, but right now, you know, and that's actually kind of why I like the setup, at least this first chapter, where it's sort of showing you, yeah, like this is a little unhealthy, and this is gonna set up the rest of the story. But yeah, we also got introduced to the other character, Baxter. As you can see, we have Jacob on the left and then Baxter on the right. At least I think that's Baxter. It's kind of funny. So like I watch us go round and round each time for Jacob, but with like Baxter, he has him like crossed out and then like he dashed out his face. But like, there's Wyatt on the bottom. Anyways, I wouldn't lie if I said that this isn't an all too common thing where people just go after like people that don't really care about you or don't really care enough to want to commit and like make the next step. And like you can't exactly force someone to be in a relationship with you, especially if they appear to be in the closet still. But like at a certain point, you also have to think about yourself, you know. You kind of have to think like what's best for you, what's best for your mental health. Is it good to stay with a guy that only wants basically what is a booty call with you? Or is it just better to leave that relationship and just try to find something new? Anywho, but yeah. So what are your thoughts so far? Write it down in the comments, and thank you all for watching / listening. If you would like to play What It Feels Like, you can do so by going down to the link in the description, which should have a direct link for the itch.io page where you can download and play the game. And because I did this already, you can subscribe to their Patreon, which I believe they do have, because I saw it on the itch.io page. And I'm assuming that gives you earlier access to the other chapters of this game. Right now, I believe that there are 7. And, you know, if you want to support the project, then, you know, you might be able to access chapters as they come out before everyone else. Anywho, so yeah, I guess that's it for now, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.